Pink.
Oh! Welcome back to Andertons TV, everybody.
Hello.
It is myself, the captain.
And the Danish Pete.
Danish
Pink.
Pete. Pink Danish Pete from
There's
Belgium.
a lot of pink going on, isn't there? Who now lives in Amsterdam, the capital of Spain.
Okay. Pogo pedals, everybody. It's one of the newer pedal brands out there, although with some provenance.
Pogo.
So there's two guys behind the Pogo pedals. One of them I know a bit, a guy called Scotty that used to do the Pro Analog Devices pedals, Manticore and stuff like that.
Beam me up.
And another guy called Ryan, who I forget his surname, but he's the one of the designers there. I've been using, I've been using the Zenray, the Pogo pedal Zenray on my board for the last year or so, and I like it because it's kind of fuzzy, overdrivey. It's that crossover, a little bit like a ratty kind of vibe.
Yeah, like a mud honey almost, like some thick, fat distortion.
Sometimes I use it fairly low gain, and it's got a different kind of vibe to all my sort of like Nobles and Danes and all that kind of stuff.
Noble Dane.
So, 5 new pedals from these guys. Do you know what? I looked at them and I kept looking at them going, is there 5 there or is there 6 there? And it was this weird optical illusion where I was just,
really?
I was just go,
wow.
No, there's definitely only 5
wow.
there.
Wow, stop
and they've
taking those.
all got like a vintage vibe to them, sort of an old school kind of vibe, and they're all trying to be a bit of a twist. They're equally all really affordable. So I say really affordable, it's like they're American made, so affordable for that. So they're £99 each.
That's not bad, it's all right.
Small pedal format, micro format, kind of cool. What do we call these? Like Macapaca style designs.
Macapaca, yeah.
Absolutely no one outside of the UK will
What's
know
the
what I'm
range?
talking
No,
about.
exactly. The range is called Harmony, isn't it? And that's the stones when you put the stones on top of each other, don't you? I don't know if I've seen that. I've tried that. It's just not easy. When people go to the beach and they just put stones on top of each other and they balance the stones up.
That is what Macapaca does, though, isn't it? In the night garden.
Macapaca! Macapaca! Macapaca. Look, type in Macapaca and Upsy Daisy and then you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Iggle Piggle.
Iggle Piggle. Here comes the Ninky Nunk.
The Ninky
Pinky Punk. Or the Plinky Plunk, is it?
If anybody thought that, like, what was if anybody thought like the Magic Roundabout or Captain Pugwash, if any of those thought that they were sort of like stoned, cartoon designers from the 70s, In the Night Garden is a whole other LSD level.
Yeah, In the Night Garden, it is just, they are...
Let's have some random pictures of people from the Night Garden on this.
Upsy Daisy!
Anyway, right.
It is.
So.
Wow.
Wow. I've lined these up in an order that I kind of thought maybe you might use them. So we've gone with the Octavia first. We've gone with the Compressor with the boost built in second. We've gone with the Fuzz, modern Fuzz third. A tremolo and then a vintage tremolo and then a dual phaser / vibrato pedal.
Slash.
The one that you heard in that opening jam was just the modern Fuzz on its own. So we might as well start there. We'll start there. Do you mind if I read from my spec sheet here? It's probably best for you guys. I mean, you can go and see all this stuff on our website if you want to. But the modern Fuzz, it's actually kind of like completely the wrong name for this pedal because it's based on the Maestro Fuzz, which was the original Fuzz. Although this he's saying is designed on a Tom Oberheim's FZ1S Maestro from 72, so that's not the original Maestro Fuzz from 65, but it's that sort of wedge-shaped fuzz pedal. And they're basically saying it's one of the fuzz circuits that's very rarely used by modern fuzz makers. So that's their angle, kind of a little bit of a slight vibe. Wanted to modernize it here. Let's have a little. So yeah. It's trying not to sound like a muff or a fuzz face or a tone bender clone. It's a different kind of fuzz. It's definitely quite nasally sounding, isn't it?
Yes.
They talk about in the spec about using 6 high gain, high current NPN silicon transistors in parallel, whatever that means. And then it's got a switch, a D and a B switch, so dark and a bright mode switch. So let's have a little bit of a swizz through what this pedal will do. Interesting on here, the middle control, the clean, is slightly counterintuitive, assuming that these are all pre-production samples. So assuming this isn't wired back to front, it's all the way down, I believe, is a clean circuit, right? A clean only.
Fairly clean.
And then all the way up is the fuzz. So it's like a blend control where you sort of, and then the fuzz and the level controller are as they would be, you know. So here's a little bit of fuzz, but with no clean blend.
Okay. By the way, I'm playing a wonderful OPEC trail breaker.
And it's tough, isn't it?
Trail breaker into the DP40.
A tail breaker.
A tail breaker. That's when you fall down.
Yeah.
Right on your bottom.
And one of the reasons we chose this because it's got a P90, a single coil, and a humbucker in it. So we can kind of do all 3 of those kind of tones.
And also because it's cool.
And it's super cool.
Epic.
So if I blend in a little bit of the clean, you'll kind of hear it sort of fattens up a little bit.
Let's go in E. When I roll the tone back as well, it gets a different sound.
Okay, I've just switched to the B mode, the bright mode as well. So I'll switch between that whilst you're playing. I've got this pretty gunned now from a fuzz perspective.
Yeah.
Fuzzy goodness.
Fuzzy,
if you're a Fuzz fan, you'll know that there are.
From I've heard.
Yeah, there's a whole plethora of different kind of fuzzes, and fuzzes have a tendency to react differently depending on amps and guitars and stuff like that. But there you go. It's a
cool.
It's a dirty fuzz. So now we're into the Octavia. Again, apologies, I'm using my notes here to accurately tell you what's going on inside here. It says it's a simple design, uses 2 high gain, high current NPN silicon transistors again, 1 operational amplifier, is that an op-amp, I assume, and 4 diodes. So this results in single notes and full chords that track and jump out from under the player's fingers. We've got 3 controls, octave, gain and clean. Now, when I was messing around with this earlier, octave and gain are, so we've got what's the volume of the octave, how much gain do you want, and then again you've got this idea of a blended clean sound as well. So I'll start with everything about 12 o'clock and I'll start noodling around. And this is the one that says if you want to use it with another fuzz pedal that you can, so perhaps we'll just jump in a few bits and bobs here as well. So here we go.
I like
very spitty.
Yeah, I like the velcro-ness. And when you then use the tone control, that's the magic. Gain in there, or?
Not really.
Volume down.
Fuzz.
Try it. Fluting.
It is very fluty, isn't it? Oh, crikey, I nearly fell off the back of my chair. Pretty noisy if you stack the two together, but I think that's just what you're going to get with this kind of technology.
Well, it is fast and noisy. It's goodness.
This was probably my favourite of the 5 when I was noodling around with these. I've had these in my office for a few days, just sort of messing around, because I quite liked the fact I was using it into a Victory Sheriff, so a sort of edge of breakup kind of tone. And then you've got this idea of a compressor and a boost circuit going on at the same time. So if we play clean for the minute. I can, if I just leave the clean level all the way down, I'm not really applying any boost, I'm just using a compressor. But if I turn the clean level up, it kind of acts as a boost as well. So if you, but I was using that, again, this is a very clean amplifier, so not push the amp into any sort of drive, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, that, I mean, that does.
Yeah, so it's
makes it sound
it's one of those
Sorry.
like, it's not necessarily super obvious what's going on when you first switch the pedal off on, but then when you switch it off, you go, oh right,
I'm never
that's
gonna
what
take it off
doing.
again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's compressed as well. It's nice.
I forgot to refer to my notes, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
So apparently,
Naughty man.
This is a compression circuit taken from an early 80s solid-state Ampeg amplifier. I'm not going to go into all the transistor thingies, but yes, there are more of those silicon high-gain NPN transistors and diodes and blah-de-blah.
Things.
But yeah, it's a... Yeah, not much to tell you about what it
Sounds
does.
good.
It's pretty obvious compression ratio and clean.
Yeah.
I bizarrely, isn't it? I kind of, this was the one I was going to most. So if you've got an amplifier that is perhaps a little bit more gainy than a DP40, so, you know, I don't know, a Vox or a Marshall or something like that, where there's a bit, I was using this to send the amp into sort of like some preamp gain. But I really like that. So £99, you never know, that might make it onto my little board. Right, last two pedals are now modulation territory. So vintage tremolo with a slow and a fast mode. Ooh. I'll switch that on. Pete can see what it does whilst I read some notes. So we can
nice.
go, yeah, we can go very silly, like, you know, choppy. So, you know what this is designed around, Pete?
No.
No, this is designed around a 1960s vintage Schaller Tremolo TR68.
Oh, right. Never tried one of those.
Schaller, they make machine heads, don't they?
No, they also made lots of other things, I'm sure they did.
They?
Yeah.
There you go.
Shallow.
So yeah, the TR68. Who knew that these brands were around back in the day?
Yeah. Probably worth a fortune now.
Yeah, probably. Interestingly, now again, you electronics engineers out there will understand why this is, but I've never seen this before. It just says, important note, the LFO, low frequency oscillator, takes 15 to 45 seconds to charge once the 9-volt supply is applied. So you've obviously got to
plug it in and wait for a little bit for it to.
Never heard that before. Maybe other Trems do that. But anyway, so that's the vintage Trem.
Nice, that sounded really good. I like that.
Nice and fat sounding. I do like the fact that they both the phaser and the Trem have got their own level controls.
Yeah.
Because in fact, let me demonstrate that. Maybe
demonstrate it.
I was actually if you wanted to use this as some sort of a boosted tremolo circuit.
Yeah, it gets lost sometimes.
You can. So if you just play clean.
Yeah.
So you can, if you wanted to use it for a part of a song where you actually wanted to boost the level over and above something, you could. Funnily enough, on the phaser, I was doing that again with my sort of Marshall style Sheriff amp in my office. I was doing that. Not that I can do any of that Van Halen-y kind of stuff, but you know that idea of stomping on a pedal and getting boost and phaser at the same time was kind of cool. Yeah. So right, last pedal then. So it's a phaser and a vibe. They say in the manual it's not a univibe, it is a vibrato.
Very different.
Very different pedal, yeah. All analog, all these pedals are all analog circuits. So again, before we get into this, we have got here, goodness me, lots of words I don't understand here. So dual OTA platforms, unique LFOs, London Symphony Orchestra.
Unique New York.
Operational transconductance amplifiers, chip and out-phase circuit. Oh my God, it's so confusing.
Does it phase?
Let's just hear it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
I like it. From the P90, it's a little bit fatter.
Wow, wow, wow.
The vibrato mode. It's a funny
Vibrato has always been a funny
effect, isn't it? I quite like it. It's if you make the pedal settings quite subtle. It's another one of those pedals where you don't really hear what the effect is doing until you turn it off, and then you realise that it's thinner again somehow, isn't it? But like. That's what it's doing.
Just do it.
Did you? Maybe you saw what Pete was doing with the arm here. Look.
So I'm doing this. And then without the arm. There you go. Off.
So there you go. So that's the phaser and the vibe.
So you can just buy this system and put it in instead.
Yeah, so these are all
Probably more
£99. They're all in stock from Andertons.
Nice.
They all run on a 9-volt supply. Obviously, you can't put a battery in any of these.
No.
There we are. Pogo pedals, everybody.
Pogo.
I quite like them. Let's just finish up with, let's have a bit of everything.
Just want a bit of everything.
Maybe not a bit of everything. Bit Jimmy-ish, maybe, something. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We shall see you next time.
Timmy. More Timmy.
You're talking about Timmy the sheep.
More Timmy than Jimmy.